Hello everybody, welcome to your updated bookies predictions for the EFL Championship with 12 games to go. I've had a little sort through, look at the odds, look at the markets, see what they are saying about who's going to win the championship, get promoted, get into the playoffs, get relegated, etc. etc. This should be quite fun because the data stops there at October. We didn't have a chance to do this in January. I didn't get round to it. It's not quite an international break, is there, with the FA Cup round? So, the last time we did it is in October. So, a lot has happened for certain clubs since then. But what you're going to see on the screen is where everybody was predicted to finish by the markets in June, August, September, October, and now February with an average plus their league position. Now, always makes for interesting content, but let me make my usual plea. Don't get emotional, who am I kidding, football fans, about what the markets say. Remember, the markets are most affected by a big liability. So it's a liability, not a probability, i.e. if they're going to lose a load of money, the odds come in rather than reflecting actually whether something's going to happen or not. And sometimes those moves are caused by big fan bases, where a lot of bets are taken on a specific club, or big stories as well, which is why England are the favourites to win every major tournament in this country, and will be until the day you, me, and everyone are not here anymore. Right, let's get into this. Get your comments in on all of the teams and where they are. So we're going to go 24 through to 1, so I better get a bloody move on and start with Plymouth Argyle are predicted by the market to finish bottom. It's been kind of tailing round there all season, frankly. They're currently 22nd in the table, but the market sees them at the bottom. There's probably a bit of lag in terms of the big story narrative with Wayne Rooney and a lot of money going on them to go down then that the bookies don't want to let go of. But, yeah, it is what it is. They've been in the relegation zone in terms of the market all season. 3 points off it, you never know, but the market says Plymouth are going down, and they're going down bottom of the table. One place below, my God, Luton Town. And look at that in June and August. Third and third. Luton have just completely, well, not to put too fine a point on it, crap the bed this season. A dreadful, dreadful season. They're currently bottom. They were in the Premier League last season. They do have an excellent squad, not just compared to the teams at the bottom, but you know, compared to most of the teams in the Championship. And yeah, just a massive drop since we last did this in October. It's been terrible. Obviously, Rob Edwards has gone, and away from home, absolutely abject. Not too much better at home. And yeah, that's why we are where they are now. And they are forecast to be relegated. I don't know. There's still the possibility of 4 wins in 6 coming from somewhere. But yeah, Luton, it is actually heavily odds against 4-11 to get relegated, Luton. And the final team to drop, according to the markets, are Derby County. They're 2-1 on. They are predicted to finish in 22nd, which is actually one place above where they are now, obviously with Plymouth going down beneath them. Look, I think you can take with a pinch of salt that 9th up there. That's definitely a big fan base and a big story after a League One promotion, pushing a big liability there for the bookmakers. But since we last did this, obviously Paul Warner's gone. There's been a massive losing streak. And yeah, they are marooned in the bottom 3 and scheduled to finish there according to where the money is going. So I suspect this next load of fan bases are all going to be happy because the markets say they're avoiding relegation. But look at that. Stoke City, I didn't expect them to be that low, to be honest. All our League One promoted teams are going to be above them, obviously, and another team that's currently below them in the table is going to be above them as well. I think there's maybe part of a big story that, you know, it would be massive if Stoke did go down. You know, they've kind of faltered, you know, time and time again since they've been back in the Championship. We've had two managerial changes since October. Definitely the Mark Robins one. I don't know if the Narcis Pelak one was before or after that. Someone will correct me in the comments. But yeah, huge sense of underachievement for Stoke, which the market says they are going to be one place above the drop, despite the fact they're one place above that right now. I'm sure the long-term play in terms of Mark Robins is that they'll trend up. But isn't it always with Stoke? Cardiff, there we've got in 20th. They are down 1. They're currently 19th in the table. I suspect the Cardiff fans will be pretty happy with that because it's been a pretty volatile season as well. Bullout, Reeds, obviously, you can pretty much take for granted that all of these first 10 teams, 12 teams, or whatever it is, have had a managerial change because that is literally the fact of the matter is that they have. They're, as I say, they're 19th in the table. You can see they're teetering. Only in one of those months, in fact, it was the last one, and I think they were actually bottom of the table then and 22nd with the market. Only in one of those months have they been predicted to go down. So it's been pretty consistent with the bookies that Cardiff are not going down. Famous last words for Cardiff fans. 36 points with 12 to go. Yeah, should be able to reach the 45 or the 48 or whatever it's going to take this season. Oxford are brilliantly dining off. I mean, they're trending down now, but I think we might well look back and say a managerial change saved Oxford and a gargantuan new manager bounce of massive proportions under Gary Rowett has happened since we last spoke in October. I know Des Buckingham had got some sort of home wins, but they were very much trending down. And then there's a massive spike under Rowett in, what was it, like 7, 8, maybe even longer than that, 9 games just of superlative point scoring, which takes them from, you can see, August, September, they were projected to finish bottom by the markets. They are currently 18th in the table, so we've got them dropping down one more place, but I'm sure every single Oxford fan watching will perfectly willingly take 19th spot. Hull's an interesting one. Hull's an outlier, isn't it? Because we expected them at the start of the season there. You can see they were just outside the playoffs last season to be finishing up in the top 10. Tim Volter failed miserably. You can see a massive drop there between October and February, 9th down to 18th. But the market is backing them, excuse me, to go up 3 places from where they are now in 21st and pull away from the relegation zone, I guess just based on squad quality. Although you could argue that with Stoke, and it's got them dropping down 1, Hull up 3. Maybe Hull are the reason, Stoke are dropping down, period. But yeah, there's a sense that Hull are going to finish higher than they are right now with the market. And with me, frankly, stranger things have happened, but Sellers pushing Hull up is a narrative that is being kind of peddled in all of those areas. Portsmouth, brilliant. Look, back in September, they were projected 23rd by the market, now 17th. And I think there's 2 things. There's was a horrible start, and I think fixtures and injuries as well compounded that. And really since, I don't know, you tell me, it must be October time. It feels like before then, Portsmouth's points per game, ability to score goals, ability to score from set plays, ability to win home games. Very good at home, indeed, actually. Something like 9 wins in 12 or 8 wins in 10 or something stupid like that. Pompey at the moment, 3 wins in a row as well. So comfortably away from the relegation zone in 17th. And that, keep pointing the wrong way, is where the market is predicting them to finish. I'll go with my left hand next time. I'm mirrored. Forgive me. Swansea 16th, which is where they are right now. They've needed these couple of wins in the last 4 games. Obviously, horrible trend down. Luke Williams out as well, and Alan Sheehan got the win in the last game, which has taken them to 40 points. So they would have to be abjectly awful to go down now from here. You know, 0.5 points per game would still take them to 46. Might be a high tide, you never know, but you'd think there's going to be a win or 2 in there somewhere in the last 12. And Swansea again recycling. It'll be a new manager next season. 15th, Preston. Well played, Paul Heckingbottom, because look, 21st, 20th, 18th, 17th, 15th. That's gone up and up and up and up and up, hasn't it, since Ryan Lowe went out after 1 day of the season. And to be fair, there's a June in there as well, isn't it? It was before even Ryan Lowe managed to be the earliest manager in Championship history ever to be out of a job. They're 15th now in the table. The market's got them 15th, all fairly straightforward. That one. And QPR, we've got 4 in a row there where the market's got them exactly where they are in the table right now. I still wonder whether QPR might go higher than that. I think they've got a higher ceiling than that. But yeah, the form's very, very spotty at the moment. But given that massive drop down there in October when we last did it, where they might have been, were they bottom or 23rd or something? I think I've had about 3 teams bottom in October since I've been doing this video. But One of them will be right, won't they? But QPR scheduled to finish in 14th according to the markets. I don't know if that might be a place or two higher, given Cifuentes is very good and they're capable of a winning run and keeping clean sheets as well. Last one in the bottom half is Millwall, who are currently in the top half. The market has them falling down one place. Again, we've had the managerial change there with Neil Harris being replaced by Alex Neil. Feels like he's got some momentum, so could it be higher? Could it be top half? Yes. I don't know. It'll be around there somewhere, though, won't it? Not sure about the playoff push that the optimistic Millwall fans are projecting 6 points off as we speak right now. Into the top half. By the way, a lot of the teams, just to be very clear about this, we've dealt with already. I've been looking at the odds for them to be relegated. We're now looking at teams where it's the odds to finish in the top 6, and then we'll move on to the odds to win the EFL Championship. Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, they've averaged 13.6 through the season in terms of the odds. They are now in 13th place, and the market says they'll finish in 12th. I don't know, is there a bit of big fan base pushing a big liability there and people having a punt on them getting into the playoffs maybe 4-6 weeks ago? It's been a bit inconsistent since then. 3 defeats in 4, and still problems with Mr. Chansiri, not necessarily back in Mr. Roll in January. Watford, fair play. Watford's another outlier. I mean, look, it's a silly outlier because it goes from 9th to 20th in August. I don't know why it was as high as 9th. Maybe just some historic Premier League history there pushing the odds up. I don't know. I don't know why it was up there. We all smelt kind of trouble at Watford. Hey, we were wrong, weren't we? Because they've been in the top half for the majority of the season. Back-to-back wins puts them in 9th. Now, I'm sure most of the fan base would take 11th. It's averaged at 12th. Obviously pulled down massively by the August. I think a lot of people piled on it in August, didn't they, when they saw that the market thought they were going to finish 9th and everyone said it's going to be lower than that, which then kind of like swung it like a pendulum the other way. But we're coming in at 11th with Watford. And 10th with Norwich, perennially sort of expected to finish in the playoffs. Bit of a slip since October, obviously the Saints suspension. Excuse me. And the Sargent injury hasn't helped that. They're still inconsistent, aren't they? They've got loads of goals in the team, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if they put a run together. So, I don't know. I think that might be quite good value, he says, pointing the wrong way. A 10th place finish for Norwich. I think it might be higher than that, but there you go. You tell me in the comments. They're currently 10th in the table, so that's a big 0 in terms of movement. Bristol City, well done Liam Manning as well. We said this about Paul Heckingbottom. Look, expectations 17, 15, 14, 11, 9. It has climbed and it has caught up with Bristol City. Are currently 8th in the table. And by God, if Bristol City can actually win a couple of away games and keep their home form up, they'll be up there, won't they? They'll be 8th or indeed higher. But yeah, it's just that away form you're concerned about with City. But yeah, pretty methodical season put together by Liam Manning. Currently 8th in the table. Bookies have got them dropping 1 place, but I don't think that's a bad season. Look at the expectations. 12 to go for Blackburn. Blackburn have been a massive outlier. John Eustace way outperformed what we all thought, and that's gone, look, 17, 15, quickly up to 9th and 8th. It's stayed at 8th. Big Val Ismail, which we haven't spoken about on the channel yet. We haven't heard Sam speak about either on the Championship check-in, is now in at Blackburn. So we get Sam's take there. Who knows what we'll get. Didn't get a lot of time at, where was he last season? Watford. Then he was at West Brom, where he also didn't get a lot of time, but they were quite high in the table. Barnsley, amazing job. Obviously, we get that. But he seemed to pivot from the really direct football, which I bloody loved, actually. I thought it was good fun, to something different at Watford. So I've got no idea what Big Val is going to do there. It'll either go up, down, or stay exactly where it is. Never a true word spoken. Currently 6th in the table, but dropping out the playoffs. So the bookies. And missing out, Middlesbrough. Now, everyone has been so sweet on Middlesbrough, haven't they? There's been loads of money spent on Borough, either getting promoted, getting in the playoffs, whatever. Look, 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 2nd when we did this in October. I remember having to do a long spiel on that we thought it was the underlying numbers, the XGs and the penalty box entrance. They were miles ahead. Shots and all things like that were really, really good. But We've had a horrible run for Borough. Yes, they did win the previous game in midweek, didn't they? But horrible losing streak before that. I don't know. Are we going on a winning streak now? I think that's about right there, 7th, where they don't feel like a playoff team, but 11th would be a big failure, I think, for Carrick, given the squad. Let's have a look at our first playoff team, according to the bookies, which is West Brom, not in their perennial home of 5th place, but just a place lower in 6th. They've been around there all season. I think we would still have them in 5th if Carlos Corberon was still there. Obviously, he went Christmas Day, Boxing Day across to work in, where did he go? Valencia. Tony Mowbray's in now. I don't know. We could get a trend up from Mowbray and a nice winning run. 5 wins in 8, 6 wins in 8. That'd be a really good winning run, wouldn't it? 6 wins in 9, 7 wins in 11. I'm just throwing out random numbers now, aren't I? Which could take them back to 5th. But I think given the traffic, they'd be fairly happy to hold on. And I don't know. Depends what you think of the difference between who finishes in 3rd and who finishes in 4th. But you're still going to have a hard task if you're in 5th and 6th and in the playoffs this season. But West Brom projected to stay in there but to drop a place. And that is because Coventry are coming like a steam train. I'm actually quite pleased now because I had them... Where did I have Coventry? It was like 4th, 5th, something like that. And they're winning games left and right now, aren't they? The bookies never massively floundered, although I haven't got like December data there, so they might have dropped off there. You tell me in the comments. 7th, 5th, 7th, 9th, 5th now projected for Coventry on a run of 7 wins in 8 in the EFL. Lots of people think they are far more... Well, let's not even say lots of people think. Let's say I think, and the evidence says that they are far more consistent than all of those teams in the race for 5th and 6th at the moment. And they will be getting in there as we speak, as things stand, to be facing Sunderland, who I think the top 4 is going to be fairly clear to everyone. We're now looking at the odds to win the division. Sunderland in 4th. They're in a bit of no man's land, aren't they, in terms of their 11 points ahead of West Brom and 6 points behind Burnley. That may even be the 2 biggest gaps down the table, are both involving above and below Sunderland. In fact, I'm quickly scanning up and down. I think I'm right about that. So they're totally in no man's land there. So the odds are they will finish in 4th unless we have a fall off from someone above or a nice surge from Sunderland. But the speed that points are scored at the top of the table, it's hard to make up 6 points in 12 games. That's one every other game for the rest of the season on whoever is in 3rd. And then it's got its 8 up to 2nd. So, yeah, Sunderland, Coventry in the playoffs, say bookies. Sounds like a decent matchup, that one. Let me know who you think wins that over 2 legs. 3rd place, the bookies have moved on this since October. And Burnley are in there. Look, they had them 5th in October. I don't know what the issue was there with Burnley, because it was automatics for the first 3 times we did that. And then a bit of a drop-off. I don't know. I can't remember them having a bad run. I know we had draws and we've had 0-0 draws, but pretty much since October, someone correct me, I don't know when Burnley last. They're like 21 or 22 or something like that, unbeaten now, aren't they? But the bookies say Burnley are not going to catch, and look, elephant in the room, we'll call it, Sheffield United and Leeds, who are the only 2 teams left, if you've, by process of deduction. They've got Burnley finishing in 3rd. There is only a 2-point gap. And look, let's just hit the button and go to Sheffield United in 2nd. So this one fascinates me because this is probably the biggest question, I think, in terms of how the Championship finishes. It does feel a bit like, we know Leeds are coming, don't we? Leeds are going to finish 1st, Sunderland are going to finish 4th. Which order have you got? Sheffield United and Burnley. And unless we get a big surprise, a big mover in the final 12 games. But yeah, fair play, Chris Wilder. We said that many times this season. 5th, 7th, 6th, 3rd, and we've now got them in February in the automatic spots. I know Sheffield United fans will argue, oh, Ben, we've been up there all season. Yeah, I know, but there's always a lag between expectations and reality and the gap closing. We were all a bit worried about Sheffield United at the start of the season, weren't we? You know, transfer window still open, Prince Abdullah stuff going on, takeover has happened is Chris Wilder the old Chris Wilder, or the Chris Wilder we had at Watford or Middlesbrough? And it's been really good. And now the market says they are going to get top 2, but very interesting. And round 44, I say this every video, it is Burnley and Sheffield United facing off at Turf Moor. Could that decide everything? One thing that's decided is, look at that, that's a clean sweep for Leeds right the way through the season. And yes, we can argue a little bit of big liabilities are caused by big stories and big fan bases. Leeds winning the league is a big story, backed in by a big fan base. But I don't know. I still think the data said the squad was good. The manager's, really good and has won this league twice before. And there was every chance they were going to win it anyway. So I'm not sure we're looking at anything other than that they had the best squad and the best manager. Potentially, you tell me. And they were going to make it anyway. So look, yeah, clean sweep for Leeds. And obviously, since February, not only has there been a really good run, particularly at home for Leeds, well, everywhere, but we're on that 5 wins on the trot. And obviously, in their past 2 games that we're doing this, Leeds have defeated Sunderland and Sheffield United. So they won these key head-to-heads, and the Burnley one was drawn 0-0. So Leeds, I think, after they play West Brom this weekend, they've played the entire top 6 as it stands right now twice. So 2 points per game takes Leeds now, 24 to 99, doesn't it? 2 teams ain't finishing above 99 points. So there you go. I'll eat my hat. I'll bet me. No, let's not say stupid things on the internet, but it ain't happening, is it? There you go. There's our championship table with the bookies. Look down at the bottom. Plymouth, Luton, shock, horror, and Darby would be your 3 to drop. Your playoff games would be West Brom versus Burnley in the 3rd versus 6th semi-final, and Sunderland versus Coventry in the 4th versus 5th semi-final, with Sheffield United automatically promoted and Leeds champions. Let me know your thoughts on all of that. Remember, it's always my plea here. People tell me off for these pleas, but you don't have to read the abuse that I get in the comments day in, day out, do you? So I will make the plea. Stay calm. It's just a game of football. And these are not predictions. These are liabilities backed in by real people betting money on these outcomes. We get a lot of, people making predictions in the 1 to 24s, which are just our opinions, which are not based on anything really other than how we feel, which is completely emotionally based. There's actually money and skin in the game behind this lot. And remember, a liability is not a probability, and a liability can be changed by a big fan base or by a big story. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts on any of those you think, oh yeah, that's nailed on, or any of those you're like, oh, okay, don't think that's going to happen, which means go put some money on it. Please gamble responsibly. The 18 plus only, gambleaware.co.uk, blah, 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 all those things we say with the betting sponsorships. But yeah, go and have a go if you think it's going to be wrong. Get down there in the comments and we'll link something up there, probably latest Championship Check-In podcast with Sam and the predictions. Plenty of Championship content as we go into round 35 this weekend.